Joining us is Eagle News correspondent Marjorie Quintos to talk about the march held in Montreal in memory of a domestic violence victim. Hello, Marjorie.
Hello, Archie. So, yesterday, Saturday afternoon, hundreds of people held a vigil in downtown Montreal to honor in honor of Rebekah Harry. She's a 29-year-old woman who died after being assaulted by her boyfriend last week. According to police, Harry was rushed to the hospital on March 20 and died 3 days later. Her boyfriend, 32-year-old Brandon McIntyre, has been charged with second-degree murder and is scheduled to appear on court on April 21. Harry was survived by a 9-year-old son and a big family. So Geneviève Guilbeault, Minister of Public Security, in a statement at the National Assembly, stated that, we cannot accept this situation. So, in Montreal, this is Marjorie Quintos, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Thank you for that, Marjorie. We see from our observations, there seems to be a lot of people who have gathered in that rally. Isn't there a protocol to prevent people from gathering?
Actually, Archie, demonstrations are permitted in Quebec, but wearing masks or face covers is always mandatory. For personal reasons, though, I try to keep my distance from people, and I only stay for a few minutes. It was respectful.
That's good to hear. Well, there have been several demonstrations happening in Montreal recently. And in fact, many people have been arrested. Now, can you describe the atmosphere of this rally?
You know what? This was a peaceful one. And the vigil ended around 7 p.m. So everyone respected the curfew, which is now adjusted to 9:30, by the way. There were police officers within the perimeter, but so far I didn't hear any screaming or yelling. There were some people who were singing solemnly and in harmony. So overall, it was a peaceful one, although it caused some traffic, which is now uncommon downtown.
Now, domestic violence is a crime, and we have a strong police force. Now, why do you think it still happens? And with 7 deaths, that's quite a lot. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I'm lucky that I don't have anyone that I know of that had been a victim of domestic violence. But from my observation, domestic violence is not just a problem by police enforcing all these government action plans. Actually, we have a government action plan, which is a 70-pager, and it's still valid until 2023. Personally, I think it's because the victims, oftentimes, it's difficult for them to report the abuse that they're suffering or have suffered within the confines of their own home. So it's challenging for people to call the police. It's embarrassing to tell their friends about what's happening, and all the more they're scared to tell their families that they're being abused, especially for women, right? But domestic violence actually, it happens to even to men, even to children, of course. It's just, I believe that for me personally, when we talk about being confined at home with all these lockdowns, especially it was like from 8 p.m. we're supposed to be at home already. It's difficult to find escape, right? So I think that's just my observation.
Well, thank you for that. It is definitely a very challenging time. We know over there in Montreal, there still continues to be some restrictions. You mentioned that there was a change in curfew. I think it has now been extended from what formerly was 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. for everybody to be home. Can you tell us if that actually has made any difference, if that has improved any, I guess, mental health for many of the Montrealers there? Can you tell us a little bit about how that change has impacted the residents?
Well, first, when daylight saving time was adjusted, right? Like we can enjoy a bit more of the sun, and of course, like beating the rush hour from 5 to 7. It's something that like there are many people that live across the sides of the city or the island, and if you beat the traffic you're lucky, but if you have to beat the traffic at the same time, if you have to run some errands or buy something on the way, that was challenging. So the curfew being adjusted to 9:30, it makes some difference. Because after all, like we always have to want to be at home during dinner time, right? But yeah, 9:30 sounds okay for me. It's bedtime for most of the kids anyway. So
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
thank
Now,
you.